So folks, they walked away, rejecting you, leaving you behind like you didn't even matter. And now, here you are, full of tears, full of questions, full of pain. They didn't just break your heart, they tore through it like your heart was nothing more than paper to shred. They left without looking back, as if they were never truly interested in you, as if all the moments you shared, all the love you poured into them, were just a passing thought. They tossed you aside like you were nothing, like all the love, the effort, the sacrifices you made didn't matter. And you know what? Right now, they're looking at you. They're imagining you sitting in the shadows, crying yourself to sleep, wrecked by the emptiness they left behind. They know they've taken your peace, your joy, your sleep with them. They think they've won. They think you're too broken to stand back up, but oh, how wrong they are. Because the one who won here is you. They just don't know it yet, and maybe you don't either, not yet. But let me tell you something. You have no idea how powerful you are now that you're free. Yes, free. Because that's what their departure gave you, freedom. The shackles of someone who never truly valued you, gone. The cage of their manipulation, their ego, their neglect, gone. And don't worry if you don't feel it yet. That's what this video is for. This is where you'll find the truth about what happens next, about how you take this pain, this rejection, and turn it into the fire that fuels your transformation. So before we dive in, smash that like button, not just for yourself, but for every person out there who needs this message, who's sitting in the same shadows you were. Let's spread this message. Let's help them rise. And now, let's get into it. So what do they deserve for that? For the way they left you in pieces? They deserve to feel the weight of what they lost. But what you are giving them by crying, by sitting in shadows, by begging, is satisfaction. They know they can control you this way. They know you'll do this. But right now, that all should stop. After this moment, you are not going to give them this satisfaction. They want to see you crying, broken apart. But you will show them. You will show them strength they never imagined you had. They want to see you shattered, but instead, you'll rise. You'll show them resilience so unshakable that it shakes them. You'll show them what it looks like when someone takes heartbreak and turns it into power. When someone refuses to crumble and instead builds themselves back up, stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. They thought they could control you, that your pain was their victory. But from this moment on, they lose. They lose the satisfaction of your tears, the power of your attention, the hold they thought they had over you. You'll show them that the version of you who begged, who cried, who chased, that version is gone. What's left is someone they'll never recognize, someone they'll regret underestimating for the rest of their lives. You'll show them silence where they expected pleading, strength where they expected weakness, confidence where they thought there would only be despair, and most of all, you'll show them that their absence isn't your loss. It's your freedom. This is where you take back your power. Right now, let them watch as you rise, untouchable and free. They deserve to see what happens when someone they underestimated, someone they dismissed, transforms into a force they'll never have again. But here's the truth. They aren't thinking about that right now. No, they're too busy congratulating themselves, patting themselves on the back for the destruction they think they caused. Right now, they're looking at you. After everything they've done, they're watching. They want you to cry. They want you to beg. They want you to chase them like a dog chasing a car it can never catch. Because that's how they feed their ego. Let's get to work. So affirm with me right now. Your rejection fuels my power. Say it, feel it, own it. Let those words sink in. Let them ignite something inside you, and say it again, louder this time. Your rejection fuels my power. This isn't just an affirmation, it's a declaration, a shift in your reality. Write it down, throw it in the comments, throw it out into the world. Let them see it, let them feel it. This is your new truth. This is who you are now. They want you to cry? No, you rise. They want you to beg? No, you build. They want you to fall apart? No, you forge yourself into someone stronger than they ever imagined. Let them find out the hard way. Let them discover that their rejection wasn't the end of you. It was the beginning of your transformation. Declare it now, once and for all. Your rejection fuels my power. Say it. Own it. Write it in the comments. Let it echo in their minds and let it define your unstoppable transformation. This is your moment. This is your time. Let's begin. Number 1. Turn pain into action. Imagine a volcano beneath the surface. There's pressure building, heat rising, molten energy bubbling, waiting to explode. That's your pain right now. It's intense, raw, and uncontrollable. But here's the thing. A volcano doesn't erupt without purpose. It doesn't waste its power. Instead, it reshapes the landscape. It creates new ground, fertile soil, something entirely new. Your pain, it's the same. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it reshape you into someone stronger, someone unstoppable. As Nietzsche said, one must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. This chaos, this hurt, it's not your enemy. It's your energy. It's your potential. But energy left unchecked, that's when it consumes you. That's when you sit in the shadows, replaying every word, every moment, every lie. That's when you cry yourself into exhaustion and feed the story they want you to live, the one where you're the victim. No, not anymore. This pain isn't here to break you. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night you've endured, every piece of yourself that feels missing, that's fuel, that's fire. And fire doesn't sit still. It burns, it transforms, it moves. And that's what you need to do now. Move, get up, stand up, do something. Hit the gym and let the weights carry the weight of your heartbreak. Take a walk and let each step be a reminder that you're moving forward, no matter how small the stride. Pick up a pen, a paintbrush, a tool, anything, and create. Do something you love, something you've always wanted to do, something that makes you feel alive again. And don't tell me it's too hard. Of course it's hard. Everything worth doing is. Facing your pain is hard. Letting go of the memories is hard. But what's harder? Staying stuck, feeding the pain, sitting there, letting their absence define your existence. You've done that long enough. Pain grows when you give it room to fester, when you replay the story over and over again in your head like a broken record. Stop feeding it. Starve it by acting. I know what you're thinking. But I don't feel like it. I'm exhausted. It hurts too much. I get it. This isn't about waiting until you feel ready. This is about doing it because you're not ready. Start small. Put on your shoes and step outside. Feel the sun on your skin, the wind in your hair. Go for a 5-minute walk. Do one push-up. Write one sentence. Action doesn't have to be massive. It just has to begin. Picture this. Every time you take a step forward, your pain loses a little more power. Every time you lift a weight, write a word, take a breath, you're taking back what they stole from you. You're proving that their absence isn't your end. It's your opportunity. And here's the truth. Pain never goes away completely, but it transforms. It becomes strength, resilience, and wisdom. Every time you face it head on, you're turning it into something new, something powerful. That's how you heal. Not by avoiding the pain, but by using it as a tool to rebuild yourself. Think of the phoenix, burnt to ashes, but from those ashes, it rises. Glorious, unyielding, unstoppable. That's you right now. You're in the fire, and it hurts like hell. But you're not just sitting there burning. You're becoming something they'll never recognize. And let's not pretend they're not watching. They are. They're expecting you to drown in your sorrow. They're counting on you to stay stuck, to let this pain consume you. But when they see you rising, when they see the strength that came from what they thought was your destruction, that's when they'll realize they didn't break you. They built you. End every day knowing you did something to move forward, no matter how small. One step, one lift, one moment of joy, because every little action adds up to the biggest transformation they'll never see coming. Say this affirmation with me. I turn pain into power. Say it louder. Write it. Shout it. Feel it in your bones. I turn pain into power. Every tear, every ache, every wound, they're not your defeat. They're your fuel. Let this be the moment where you stop letting the pain control you and start controlling the pain. Get up, move, act, and let the fire inside you shape the strongest version of yourself. I turn pain into power. Say it again. Own it. Live it. This is where the transformation begins. Music. And hey, if you haven't hit that small like button under this video yet, please make sure you do. It's such a tiny action for you, but for us, it means everything. It helps us grow, reach more people, and keep creating content that empowers you. Number 2, flip the script. Imagine you're sitting in a theater watching the story of your life play out on screen, but here's the catch. You didn't write the script. Someone else did. The pain, the heartbreak, the betrayal, it's all been written for you by someone who didn't care about the ending. And right now, you're stuck in the worst scene, watching yourself fall apart while they move on like nothing happened. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. You're not the audience, you're the writer, the director, the star, and it's time. Time to rip up that script and write a new one. As Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. You can't change what they did. You can't rewrite the past, but you can flip the script and take control of the story. You're not a victim in their narrative anymore. You're the hero of your own. Right now, the script they've left you with goes something like this. They left me. I'm broken. I'll never move on. And every time you replay those thoughts, you're giving their story power. You're letting their version of you win. Enough. It's time to rewrite the narrative, and here's the new opening line. They left, and I rose. How do you flip the script? You start by questioning every lie you've told yourself since they walked away. I wasn't good enough for them. False. They didn't leave because of you. They left because they couldn't appreciate your value. I'll never find someone else. Wrong. You're not just someone. They'll never find someone like you again. I'll never heal. Stop. Healing isn't just possible, it's inevitable, as long as you decide to take the first step. Start small. Write down every belief that's holding you back, and then challenge it. Rewrite it. Replace it with the truth. For every negative thought, there's a positive one waiting to take its place. For every tear you've cried, there's a lesson learned. For every piece of yourself they tried to destroy, there's a stronger version waiting to emerge. And don't just rewrite the story in your head. Rewrite it in your actions. If the old script was full of sadness and stagnation, the new one is about growth and resilience. What's the next scene in your story? Maybe it's you stepping into the gym, finding strength you didn't know you had. Maybe it's you pursuing a dream you put on hold for them. Maybe it's you simply waking up one day and deciding to smile, not because the pain is gone, but because you've decided it won't define you. I know what you're thinking, but it's hard to rewrite the story when the pain is still so fresh. Of course it is. But here's the thing about pain. It's the ink you'll use to write the most powerful chapters of your life. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, that's where the plot twists. That's where the hero rises. Picture this. You're an artist, and your life is the canvas. Right now, the colors are dark, messy, chaotic. But you have the brush in your hand. You get to decide what happens next. Will you let the darkness define the painting, or will you use it as the foundation for something beautiful? The choice is yours, and the power has always been yours. They just didn't want you to see it. They expected you to stay stuck in the old story. They expected you to keep playing the role they wrote for you. But when you flip the script, when you rise, that's when the tables turn. Let them watch as you rewrite yourself into someone so strong, so bold, so alive that the person they left behind is unrecognizable. Let them regret their role in your story, because now they're just a footnote in your journey. Say this affirmation with me. I write my own story. Say it louder. Feel it in your bones. Throw it in the comments and make it real. I write my own story. Because that's what you're doing now. You're flipping the script, taking back the pen, and creating a life that isn't about their rejection, but about your resilience. This is your story now. Your ending. Your triumph. And trust me, it's going to be one hell of a plot twist. I write my own story. Say it. Own it. Live it. Let's go. And hey, share where you stand in the comments, what you're feeling right now, and what you've gone through. Take a moment to read what others have shared as well. It's a great way to connect, find support, and remind yourself that you're not alone on this journey. Number 3, take back your identity. They didn't just walk away. They tried to take pieces of you with them. They left you questioning who you are, what you're worth, and whether you'll ever feel whole again. That's what people like them do. They drain you, consume you, and leave you a shadow of yourself. They wanted you to forget who you were before them, to believe your identity was tied to their presence. But let me remind you of something they'd rather you never realize. You are not what they left behind. You are everything they couldn't keep. Right now, it might feel like your identity is shattered, scattered across the memories you shared with them. But those pieces, they're not lost. They're waiting for you to reclaim them, to rebuild yourself into something even greater. Imagine a broken vase. Someone careless knocked it off the shelf, and now it's in pieces. But you don't just glue it back together. No, you create something new, stronger, more beautiful. That's what you're about to do. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. They don't own who you are. They never did. They only made you believe they did. And now it's time to take back what was always yours. Your identity, your confidence, your life. Where do you start? You start by remembering who you were before them. What lit you up? What made you feel alive? What gave you joy? Chances are you abandoned parts of yourself to fit into their world, to meet their expectations, to earn their approval. No more. Take back those parts. If you loved painting but stopped because they thought it was silly, pick up a brush. If you loved dressing a certain way but changed to suit their taste, Put on the clothes that make you feel like you again. This is about reclaiming the pieces they tried to erase. And don't stop there. Go beyond who you were before them and step into something even bigger. Take this as your chance to redefine yourself, to grow into the version of you they could never have imagined. Learn something new, something bold, something you've always wanted, but never had the courage to try. Take a class, join a group, or dive into a passion that's entirely your own. This isn't just about going back, it's about moving forward. But let's be honest, it's not always easy. Taking back your identity means facing the lies they left behind. You're not enough. You'll never be okay without me. You'll fail. Those lies will echo in your mind, trying to pull you back into the shadows. But every time you hear them, challenge them, prove them wrong. Remind yourself they were never a reflection of your worth. They were a reflection of their own emptiness. Picture this. Your identity is like a flame. While they were in your life, they tried to dim it, to snuff it out, so they could shine brighter. But here's the truth. They never had the power to extinguish it. That flame is still burning, waiting for you to feed it, to fan it, to let it roar back to life. You don't need their approval. You never did. You were always the light. They were just afraid of your glow. And don't think for a second they're not watching. They are. They're waiting to see if you'll stay in the shadows they left you in. But when they see you stepping into your power, reclaiming your identity, becoming someone even stronger, bolder, and more alive, that's when it hits them. They didn't just lose you, they lost something they'll never find again. Say this affirmation with me. I am whole. I am me. Say it louder. Write it. Shout it. Throw it in the comments. Let it be the anthem of your transformation. I am whole. I am me. Because that's what this is about. Becoming whole again. Not for them, but for you. This isn't just about healing. It's about reclaiming your life. It's about taking back your voice, your dreams, your identity. They thought they could take it from you, but they were wrong. You're not just taking back what was lost. You're creating something they'll never touch. I am whole. I am me. Say it. Own it. Live it. This is your time. Let's go. Number 4, stay silent, but not passive silence. It's not what they think it is. They assume silence means defeat, that you've given up, that you're drowning in the pain they left behind. Oh, how wrong they are. Silence isn't surrender. It's strategy. It's power. It's the quiet before the storm, the moment when you stop wasting your energy on them and start directing it toward yourself. But let's be clear. This silence isn't passive. It's not about retreating, hiding, or wallowing. No, this silence is loud. It's deliberate. It's the kind of silence that shakes them to their core, because it's the absence of everything they took for granted. The argument's gone, the explanation's over, the attention they craved from you cut off. Your silence is a void, and in that void, they'll be forced to confront the weight of their own actions. As the saying goes, silence is the best reply to a fool, and they don't deserve your words, not a sigh, not a whisper. Why? Because every time you engage, you give them power. Every response is fuel for their ego. Stop giving them what they want. Let your silence be the boundary they can't cross, the mirror that reflects their own emptiness. But here's the twist. While you're staying silent, you're not staying still. You're not waiting for them to notice your absence. You're using this time to rebuild, to grow, to thrive. Silence isn't sitting in the shadows. It's stepping out of the chaos they created and into the life you're about to build. While they're wondering why you're not reacting, you're out there creating the version of yourself they'll never get to have again. Start by redirecting all that energy you used to waste on them. Instead of sending that angry text, hit the gym. Instead of overthinking their last words, dive into a project that lights you up. Instead of scrolling through their social media, focus on yours. Curate it, clean it up, fill it with things that reflect your new reality. Every quiet move you make is a step toward reclaiming your life. And let's not pretend they won't notice. They will. Silence is deafening to someone who's used to controlling your emotions. They'll poke, prod, try to provoke you. They'll send a just checking in text or post something to get a reaction. Don't give it to them. Your lack of response will scream louder than any argument ever could. Say this affirmation with me. My silence is my power. Say it again. Feel it. Own it. Write it in the comments and let it be your truth. My silence is my power. Because this silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It's control. It's the quiet, unstoppable force of your transformation. Let them hear nothing from you while you rebuild everything for yourself. My silence is my power. Let's go. Number 5. Glow up time. They thought they left you broken, didn't they? Walking away, tossing you aside, acting like you were nothing, like you'd stay stuck in the ruins they left behind. But here's the truth they never saw coming. You're not broken. You're rebuilding. And this time, you're building something so radiant, so powerful, so untouchable, they'll barely recognize the person you've become. This is your glow up, and trust me, they're not ready for it. What's a glow up, you ask? It's not just about looks. It's a full body, full mind, full life transformation. It's about stepping into your best self, reclaiming your energy, and turning every ounce of pain they left you with into the fuel for your ultimate rise. Glow up time isn't about revenge. It's about you. But let's not pretend they won't notice. Oh, they will. They'll see you shining from miles away, and it'll burn. As Coco Chanel once said, a woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. That's the energy we're channeling here. You're not just changing your appearance. You're changing your entire vibe. You're shedding the old you, the one who cried over them, and stepping into the version of yourself they'll wish they could still have. Where do you start? Start with your physical body. Hit the gym, even if it's just for a walk on the treadmill. Move your body, feel your strength, and watch as your confidence starts to rebuild from the inside out. Exercise isn't just about the way you look, it's about the way you feel. Every bead of sweat is a reminder that you're taking back control. One rep, one step, one moment at a time. But don't stop there. Refresh your wardrobe, not because you need to impress anyone, but because you deserve to look in the mirror and feel unstoppable. Find pieces that make you stand taller, that remind you of your worth. This isn't about trends or brands, it's about you. Wear confidence like armor and let it shine through everything you do. And your mind, that needs a glow up too. Feed it with positivity, with knowledge, with things that remind you of your power. Read books that inspire you. Listen to podcasts that push you forward. Surround yourself with people who see your potential. The glow up isn't just about the outside. It's about becoming someone who radiates strength and resilience from within. Now, let's get real. It won't happen overnight. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up for yourself. When the pull of the past feels stronger than the promise of the future. On those days, remind yourself this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every small step you take toward your glow up is a step away from the person who doubted you. Keep going. And here's the best part. They'll notice. They'll see the fire in your eyes, the confidence in your walk, the way you've transformed into someone they can't touch. They'll try to figure out what changed, why you're glowing, while they're stuck in the same old patterns. Let them wonder. Let them feel the distance between who you were and who you've become. Say this affirmation with me. I shine brighter now. Say it louder. Let it be your mantra. Write it down, throw it in the comments, and make it real. I shine brighter now. Because you do. You're not just glowing, you're thriving. You're turning every ounce of pain into power, every crack into light, every step forward into a declaration of your strength. This is your glow up, your time to rise, your moment to prove to yourself and the world that their rejection wasn't your end, it was your beginning. I shine brighter now. Say it, own it, live it. Number 6, master the unfollow button. Let's get this straight. They don't deserve space in your life anymore. Not in your mind, not in your heart, and definitely not on your timeline. The moment they left, they gave up their right to your attention. But here you are, scrolling through their social media, checking their updates, dissecting their photos. Stop right now, because every time you look, you're handing them power they don't deserve. It's time to master the unfollow button. Unfollowing isn't petty, it's powerful. It's not about being bitter, it's about being better. You think you need to know what they're doing, where they are, who they're with, but you don't. What you're doing is feeding the pain, pouring gasoline on the fire they left behind. As Epictetus wisely said, you become what you give your attention to. And right now, you're giving attention to someone who doesn't deserve to occupy even a second of your thoughts. Here's the truth. They're counting on you to watch, to stay connected, to keep tabs on them. Why? Because it strokes their ego. They know you're looking. They know you're analyzing every move. And that's exactly why you need to hit unfollow. Not for them, but for you. It's not about making them feel anything. It's about freeing yourself. Start with the obvious. Block them, unfollow them, mute them. Get rid of the temptation to check. And don't stop there. Cut out the mutuals who act as their echo chamber. The friends who feed you updates about their life. You don't need that noise. Silence is where you'll find your strength. Every person you unfollow, every account you block, is a boundary you're setting, a line that says, I'm choosing my peace over your chaos. But what if it feels hard, you ask? Of course it does. You've built a habit around watching them, around feeling that pang of hurt every time you see their name pop up. Breaking that habit will feel uncomfortable, even painful. But isn't it more painful to stay stuck, to keep feeding the narrative they want you to believe, that you can't move on? Here's a metaphor for you. Imagine carrying a bag of bricks. Every social media post you see, every picture you analyze, every comment you obsess over, is another brick in that bag. It's heavy, it's weighing you down, and every time you hit unfollow, every time you block a connection, you're dropping a brick. You're getting lighter. You're freeing yourself. And let's not pretend they won't notice. They will. When they realize they're blocked, muted, erased from your digital world, they'll feel it. Because your attention is what fed them, and now it's gone. They'll wonder why you disappeared, why their posts no longer elicit a response. Let them wonder. Let them sit with the silence you've created. But don't just stop at unfollowing them. Unfollow the version of you who was stuck in the past. Delete the old photos, the text threads, the reminders of a life you're leaving behind. You don't need those memories to hold you back. You don't need the ghosts of their presence haunting your growth. Let it go. And here's the beauty of mastering the unfollow button. It's not just about cutting ties. It's about creating space for better things, better connections, better energy, better days. When you stop scrolling through their life, you can start building your own. Every time you resist the urge to check on them, you're choosing yourself. And that choice, that's where your power lies. Say this affirmation with me. I unfollow to grow. Say it again, louder. Write it down, throw it in the comments, and let it echo in your mind every time you feel the pull to look back. I unfollow to grow. Because that's what you're doing now. You're letting go of what doesn't serve you, of the people who don't deserve you, and making room for the life you're building. They thought they'd live rent-free in your mind, didn't they? But the moment you hit unfollow, you evict them. The moment you stop watching their life, you reclaim your own. And that's the ultimate glow-up. So go ahead, master the unfollow button. Block them, erase them, forget them. Not because you're bitter, but because you're better. I unfollow to grow. Say it, own it, live it. Let's go. Number 7. Radiate independence. They thought you needed them, didn't they? They walked away, believing they held the power, that without them you'd fall apart, crumble, beg for their attention. Oh, how wrong they were. What they never realized, what they couldn't fathom, is that their absence isn't your loss, it's your liberation. This is where you rise. This is where you show them, and more importantly, show yourself what true independence looks like. Independence isn't just being alone, it's being whole. It's knowing that you don't need anyone else to complete you because you're already complete. It's walking through life with confidence, with purpose, with the unshakable truth that your happiness, your peace, your success comes from you, not from someone else's approval or presence. Picture a tree standing alone on a mountaintop. The wind howls, the storms rage, but the tree remains. Its roots run deep, its branches stretch wide, and though it may be standing alone, it is far from weak. That tree is you. Stand tall, stand firm, radiate independence. Start by shifting your mindset. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who was abandoned, left behind, or incomplete. You are not the sum of someone else's choices. You are not defined by what they did or didn't do. You are the creator of your own life. You build your path, you set your goals, and you make your own decisions. Practice self-reliance. Start with small steps. Take control of your finances. Make decisions without second-guessing. Travel solo. Pursue your passions. And build a life you love without needing anyone to validate it. Every step you take toward independence is a declaration that you are the architect of your own happiness. And here's the kicker. As you start to radiate independence, you'll notice something. People will start to gravitate toward you. Not because you need them, but because they see you living authentically, powerfully, and unapologetically. They'll be drawn to your strength, to your energy, to the way you walk through life with your head held high. This isn't about closing yourself off. It's about being whole. Being independent means that you have the power to choose who you let into your life, who deserves a space in your world. And you, my friend, have become so magnetic that the right people will come to you. You'll realize that you don't need anyone to fill the gaps because you've already done the work. Say this affirmation with me. I am whole, I am independent, and I am enough. Say it again. Let it resonate with every fiber of your being. I am whole, I am independent, and I am enough. Write it in the comments. Declare it to the world. Because you are. You are whole. You are independent. And you are more than enough. The person you are becoming, they won't recognize that strength, that confidence, that power. They'll wonder what happened to the person they left behind. Let them wonder. Keep shining, keep rising, and keep radiating independence. Let's go.